Spent a lot of time trying to hide drugs in sandwiches.
Every day here at Paignton Zoo, our dedicated staff do a multitude of jobs that our visitors never see. This is your chance to find out how the zoo really runs. This is Zoo Insider. Meet Jelaine, Krista, Rebecca, Kelly and Sonia. This all-female dream team is our on-site veterinary department, helping to keep our animals in tip-top condition, ready to react at a moment's notice. They are ably assisted by Nina, the veterinary administrator, who makes sure the team keeps on top of all that pesky paperwork. These are some of the busiest people in the zoo, dealing with something new every day and never quite knowing what will be coming through the door. But that's what makes it exciting, of course. In today's episode of Zoo Insider, we'll be following our vet team on 2 of their recent procedures and show you all the hard work and dedication that goes into each one. The role of a zoo vet is varied and vast. As well as the usual diagnosing and treating animals that you associate with a regular vet, they also get involved in conservation, research and enclosure design. It can make for quite a hectic day. Here's our team to explain what they get up to day to day.
The thing I really love about my job is the fact that there is no typical day. Every day is really, really different.
We try to do clinical or animal work in the morning, so see patients that we've been tracking, dealing with.
And then usually a lot of people work in the afternoon, often peppered with a post-mortem or 2.
So that's what the vets do. What do the nurses get up to?
So a typical day for me it can vary quite often depending on what actually comes through the door. General anaesthetics on a particular species, monitoring the anaesthetic while the vet obviously does the work on the animal. I also get involved in stock take, making sure that we've got all the equipment, all the medicine for treating the animals in the zoo, checking all the equipment that's being used for the treatments of the animals and making sure the maintenance of them is kept up to date.
We send out prescriptions to the keepers to medicate their animals, look after our inpatients, so if anything's been hospitalised, then we'll look after those, tidy up after the day and get ready for the next one.
That's quite a list. Well, you know what they say, behind every awesome vet is a very organised vet nurse. The vet team carry out a whole range of procedures on our animals, from simple vaccinations and health checks before an animal leaves the zoo, to investigating with ultrasounds and taking a closer look inside on an X-ray. And of course, fixing any of those little injuries, even on the tiniest and prickliest of animals. The first of the procedures we are featuring today took place around a month ago on our male bongo, Ali. Sometimes an animal is too big or too dangerous to take up to the vet centre, and so the team must liaise with the keepers and prepare to carry out the procedure at the animal's enclosure.
Yeah, we're all ready down here, ready for you to come down whenever you like.
This means a lot of work for our vet nurses, who have to create a list of every possible thing they might need for the procedure and then pack them all into big boxes ready to transport to the enclosure. It can look a bit like they are off on an expedition for several weeks just for a 2-hour procedure, but it is a long run back up the hill if they forget anything. The procedure on Ali was to do some investigation work into an ever-present snotty nose and occasional stiffness in his back legs. The first stage was to get Ali asleep. This involved darting him and then using a large tube called an intubation tube to continue providing anaesthetic gas. It was then time for the investigation work to begin, starting with collecting a blood sample. Then a camera was used inside his nose to take a closer look at what was causing the issues. A small tissue sample was also collected and carefully transferred to the waiting pot. All the samples were labelled and packaged up, ready to send to a veterinary laboratory. At last, Ali could wake up and head back out onto the paddock with the 2 females, none the wiser to what went on while he was asleep. Once the vets are all packed up and headed back to the vet centre, the afternoon is taken up with cleaning the enclosure and all the equipment used, and then checking in with the keepers later on to make sure the patient is recovering well. Not all procedures are to diagnose or treat an issue though. Sometimes it is simply to carry out health checks of some sort. These are Austin civets, an endangered small carnivore from Asia. Our sister site at Nuki Zoo is home to 4 of these fantastic animals and also coordinates the breeding programme across Europe, as well as contributing to their conservation over in Vietnam. Nuki does not have a vet centre of its own, so the animals were brought up to Paignton for the day to carry out complete health checks and check that each of them have a healthy reproductive system. This will really help us to create a successful captive breeding programme and gives us more information on these secretive animals that will help with their wild conservation too. So, that's just a small snapshot of life in our busy vet department. Our team work with such a wide variety of animals that they must all have a favourite. To finish off today, let's hear from the team one last time. What is your favourite animal?
Well, dormice and frogs.
The gorillas.
I am the veterinary advisor for the Austin civets and I do like working with them a lot.
I don't have a favourite animal. I like them all.
Frog. No hesitation. I think they're great.
That is some serious frog love, Rebecca. Join us again soon for more behind the scenes peeks on Zoo Insider.